Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Destiny 2 has been having a rough time recently, haven't they? And it doesn't seem to be getting better anytime soon. According to a research firm, Cohen, Destiny 2 may be struggling to recover from the controversy that it has suffered over the past few months. This is apparently due to the fact that gamers are unhappy over the microtransactions that the game have been implemented with. The entire game is designed around bright engrams, if you didn't already know, and you can buy these or you can spend a lot of time farming for them as well. You can then trade these in at an online shop called the Eververse for that sweet, sweet Destiny 2 loot that everyone wants so very much. And you can also purchase more engrams from this shop if you wish. Now, this system does seem to have upset even the loyal fan base, not just the general Destiny 2 fan base, the loyal fan base. Even YouTube and Twitch channels that have been dedicated to this franchise have given up, saying things like it's just not worth it anymore, and things like they can't bring themselves to care about Destiny 2 anymore. They can't give themselves enough willpower to pick up that controller and play it anymore. Which is strong words from a loyal fan, as you can imagine. The Cohen assessment seems to find that Destiny 2 is struggling right now, with player engagement appearing to be on the wane. Destiny 2 is not in a good place. The game's microtransactions implementation, while not nearly as problematic as in Star Wars Battlefront 2, you've got that right. Sorry, the game's microtransaction implementation, while not nearly as problematic as in Star Wars Battlefront 2, have still been a source of player unhappiness. I would agree with that statement, however, I think both systems are predatory and exploitative anyway. Any type of loot box gambling system is exploitative, so no loot box systems gets a free pass with me, but they are absolutely right. Battlefront 2 was the worst of them all. An analyst for Cohen, Doug Cruz, said that while Call of Duty World War II clearly has had a great holiday, which likely sets up a strong franchise live services revenue in 2018, Destiny 2 seems to be is struggling right now, with player engagement appearing to be on the wane. The 4 reasons that Cohen stated were behind the drop in engagement were: number 1, design decisions that have been made that make Destiny 2 a less engaging, less distinctive game than Destiny 1. In particular, key aspects from Destiny 2 endgame feel neutered compared to Destiny 1. I would agree with that. I do think that they didn't update the sequel enough. It didn't qualify as a sequel for me. It should have been more like an update because they didn't add that much anyway. The second reason they gave was microtransaction implementation. While not nearly as problematic as the Star Wars Battlefront 2, there it is again, this has still been a source of player unhappiness. The third reason, Bungie, the studio that developed the game, of course, their apparent urgency in responding to player feedback has been disappointing. And the fourth reason is, until recently, Bungie did a poor job communicating its roadmap going forward, particularly compared to more open stance of many other live service games. Now, if I could quickly just go back to the third reason, Bungie's response to player feedback, it has been incredibly disappointing. Every single time they get caught red-handed with some kind of exploitative practice, the EXP throttling that they did, or the holiday events, every time the fans have called them out on it, they've always given the same reason. We have taken your feedback into consideration, we will try to improve in the future. And yet they have shown no evidence of improving, and it's just this generic corporate response that they have to put out there after a controversy stirs up. And it doesn't promise anything. It doesn't give the fans any type of faith in this company anymore. It was also stated that we do think Bungie still has some opportunity to fix the game's problems over the next year and recapture engagement, but we're not sure they have the ability to pull it off at this point. We also note that Destiny currently are under more competition in its genre from a refurbished Division by Ubisoft and an indie title, Warframe, that did it 3 years ago, when Destiny 1 had its own share of player dissatisfaction. I would agree with Warframe. I do think that is a serious competitor for Destiny. Division, not so much. I don't think I don't think the Division did that well anyway on its own, and even if it's been refurbished, I really don't think that it's a very successful games as a service game. However, personally, I am not surprised that Destiny 2 has not been able to rekindle the engagement and excitement it had during pre-release. Since release day, things have gone from bad to worse, and Activision Bungie have only got themselves to blame. You know, as I've said, after the EXP throttling fiasco and the holiday events that gave you so much loot that you couldn't earn them in the time they gave you, it encouraged you to buy these engrams from the shop if you were a completionist and you wanted every single item. And the terrible excuse that Bungie gave every single time, which is, we're taking it into consideration, we'll have a look at it, we'll get back to you, which is, it's not good enough. I personally can't believe that some fans have held out this long, and it's a huge shame because Destiny 2 has the makings of a good game. It's just held back every step of the way by these background business practices that most modern games seem to suffer with nowadays, and we can only hope that things improve in the future. Anyway, thank you for watching this video, and if you enjoyed it, please feel free to like and subscribe. If you want to support the show in any way you can, visit my Patreon, which I've linked below, along with links to my Twitch and Twitter channel. Any help, donations you give are greatly appreciated. I am beyond grateful for that, I really am. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.